So this is yeah. So this is a thing we have to have in mind, and this is one reason why non-visitor studies are more costly than visitor studies, because you have to find the people. Also, when we're talking about representativity, we cannot say, is this sample representative or is it not? Better is to ask, for what is this sample representative? For what? There is no representativity in general. For example, imagine the example we had, Hohe Straße in Köln. There is a shop, any shop you can imagine, and this shop wants to know who is passing by, and why, and whether people see the shop or not, and whether they go into it or not. And he wants to make a survey, and he does this survey on the Hohe Straße. In this case, it's representative, because the underlying population are only the people of the Hohe Straße, whatever they are. And when I then draw here a sample, this sample is representative for the people of the Hohe Straße. This is the difference. This is why I say there is no representativity in general, but only a representativity with respect to something. In the latter case, with respect to the people who are there, do their shopping in the Hohe Straße. Representativity is also a big problem when doing online surveys, a really big problem. Because when you're doing online surveys, we also need to have a population that is defined and that is confined to according to some criteria. For instance, example 2. Your institution has an Instagram account, and you post a questionnaire at the Instagram account, an online questionnaire. And then you have people filling out this questionnaire. How representative are these data? Or for what are they representative?
For your Instagram audience.
Pardon?
For your Instagram audience.
Yes, for the Instagram audience.
Subscribers.
Maybe subscribers. Maybe people who just passed by per chance. They just Googled and came to your Instagram account or whatever. So here you cannot name what is the population behind. It's just somehow people that in some way come to your Instagram account. So when you then have the data, you can only say, well, this is 30% of, yes, of what? Of people who are coming to the Instagram, but who is coming to the Instagram? You do not know. This is a big problem. What we when we do online studies and we want to have representative online studies, we use so-called access panels. Access panels are panels of people who register at a foreign market research institute, and they register for filling out questionnaires on a regular basis. These panels are representative. For instance, in North Rhine-Westphalia, there are panels like that. They have 30,000, 50,000 people or 80,000 people run by certain market research institutes. And then I can give to them the questionnaire and tell them, please make the survey among the people of your panel and they fill it out, and then I have the data. And these panels are representative for maybe the city of Cologne or the population of North Rhine-Westphalia or whatever. These are data you can rely on. But just posting a questionnaire on your website or your Instagram account or whatever, you get answers, but you do not know answers from what or from whom. What is the basis? Yes?
There was what was the title of that?
Access panels. Access.
Do you have an address or an institution where we could?
Yes. Personally, the last study I did, a non-visitor study in the Saarland and also in France, was with OmniQuest Bonn, which is a research institute located in Bonn, and they are doing very often studies in the cultural area for museums and different institutions, also theaters and so on. So OmniQuest, but also other large institutes also have access panels. You can Google it also. Okay. Another point is with the representativity. When you have a cultural institution and you do a visitor study, very often the audience changes, or the audience composition is different. For instance, it's different on different days of the week. It's different on different hours of the day. It may be different when there are special exhibitions coming. It may be different when there are holidays. Maybe we have more tourists or whatever. So when you're when you're drawing a sample, you also have to have in mind that the audience changes between different days and over time. This, for instance, was a big problem when we are doing the visitor study in the Kölner Dom, because the audience in the Kölner Dom also changes a lot. You have different days. For instance, on the weekend there's a lot of tourists, much more than during the day. There are the times of the worships, Gottesdienste, when you do interviews close to the worships. You have a lot of Cologne people going there, older people, which is also not quite representative. So in this case, you have to make a plan very carefully to distribute your interviews during all times of the day and all days of the week. If not, you get a distorted selection. We had 500 interviews to be done in the Dome of Cologne, not very much, and every day in the Dome there are roughly 14,000 visitors. 14,000. So after 30 minutes we would have collected our sample, but we couldn't do this because we had to have in mind that the audience changes according to different days and times. Yeah. So, okay. Now let's imagine you have done everything. You have collected your data, you have your questionnaire, you have your sample, you have collected your data. Then it comes to the data analysis. You were just asking before about for technical help or software help. There are different opportunities. One opportunity is to analyze the data, make it bigger, the data by Microsoft Excel. Almost everyone has Excel because it's a part of the Microsoft Office. it's not so easy to make a data analysis with Excel. You need to have a little bit of program skills, for instance, in building pivot tabulas. Not everyone can do this, including me. I also do not know about this. I do not like Excel. You can count totals, for instance. You can count simple percentages, distribution of answers, and make a pie chart from it with nice colors and everything. You can transport it into PowerPoint. This is okay, but it's actually no possibility to make a real data analysis. Therefore, special programs exist. One program, probably the most popular one, is SPSS. SPSS stands for Social Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. And this is a huge program that can do everything. I can give you an example. I have here SPSS on my computer, and it looks like this. This is the surface you have, and then you can see the data here, and here you can do all the analysis. And the nice thing about SPSS is once all the data are in the program and the spreadsheet looks like Excel. This is something like, we have here variables, and here we have the rows, and every respondent is a row. And these variables here are the questions. And once you have, so to type it in is similar to Excel. You can also import the data from Excel into SPSS. And once we have it in the program, it's just a mouse click to make data analysis of any kind you can imagine. What people do most often is they make counts, or they make tables. They create tables. For instance, I can, if you like, I can just show you. Yeah. I have here a data set that is from the non-visitor study in Cologne. Here we had 1,000 interviews, and about here variables. You see it's a lot, 180 questions and variables. These are, here you can see the names of the questions, very short, and then here's some other information given. It takes a little bit of introduction into this program, but then it's very easy. For instance, I want to do an analysis, and for instance, I want to make a table, or just a call, how many people go into any theater within the free scene. Or let's, for instance, here, I want to know how many people go into a museum in Cologne and theaters and in the Opera of Cologne. And then just put it here, and then I make a click here, and then I have the results just like that. Here, these are frequencies. Here, for instance, Kölner Museen, mehrmals im Monat, 4.2%, mehrmals im Jahr, 4.1, and so forth. Kölner Oper. So, and this here, then I can export, for instance, into Excel and make a graphic presentation from this. Theater in Cologne, here you see this. For instance, I want to know how old is the audience of the Kölner theater. I can make very easy a table. It goes just like this, descriptives, and then here it reads Kreuztabelle, and then I make a table, And I have done this already. Here are the theaters in Cologne. These are the rows of the table, and these are the columns of the table, the age. So, and then I make an OK, and I have the table in 1 second. Here we have age groups in Cologne, 4 different age groups. And here I have the frequency of theater visits. And then I can see, well, how is the distribution? I can see, for instance, 60 plus, those people go 35% mehrmals im Jahr or mehrmals im Monat. I can compare this, for instance, with the group 18 to 29. No one goes mehrmals im Monat, 25 mehrmals im Jahr. But on the other hand, there's a big share that says never, 44%. So this is just an easy thing to create a table.